Most people think the biggest retirement mistakes happen before retirement. Not saving enough, investing badly, taking on too much debt. But according to some of the newest retirement research, that's not what many retirees regret most. The truth is far more surprising. Some of the most expensive mistakes happen after age 70. And the scary part? Most retirees don't even realize they're making them. In fact, one recent study found that 2 out of 3 Americans now fear running out of money more than death itself. Think about that for a moment. Not illness, not aging, not death, running out of money. Today we're uncovering the biggest money mistakes retirees make after 70, including one mistake that has nothing to do with investing, one that can quietly destroy a retirement plan, and a number one mistake that almost nobody talks about. And make sure you stay until the end because the final mistake isn't really about money at all. It's about something far more valuable: time. Let's start with mistake number 7. Assuming your mind will always work the same way. Nobody likes talking about this. Nobody wants to imagine it. But one of the fastest growing retirement risks today isn't the stock market. It's cognitive decline. Financial experts are becoming increasingly concerned about what happens when retirees face memory issues, slower decision-making, confusion, or difficulty managing finances. A retiree can spend 40 years building wealth and then lose control of it because they never planned for a time when making financial decisions became harder. Imagine a retired couple. The husband handled all the finances for decades. Every investment, every bill, every account. Then one day he suffers a health issue. Suddenly his spouse has to manage everything: passwords, investments, taxes, insurance, estate planning. But no system exists. No instructions. No plan. What took 40 years to build starts becoming vulnerable. Smart retirees don't just plan for market crashes. They plan for life changes. They simplify accounts, create written instructions, organize documents, establish powers of attorney. Because the biggest financial mistake isn't losing money. It's losing control of your money. But as serious as that sounds, the next mistake is even more common. And it quietly drains retirement savings every single year. Mistake number 6. Helping adult children too much. Now before anyone gets upset, helping family isn't wrong. Most parents would do anything for their children. That's normal. That's love. But many retirees cross a line without realizing it. It starts small. A loan for a car. Help with rent. Covering a credit card balance. Paying for a grandchild's expense. Then it happens again. And again. And again. Before long, retirement savings become a family emergency fund. Here's the problem. When you're 70, you don't have the same ability to replace lost money. If a 50-year-old makes a financial mistake, they still have time to recover. A 75-year-old may not. That's what makes this mistake so dangerous. Many retirees are afraid to say no because they don't want to disappoint family members. But sometimes protecting your retirement is the greatest gift you can give your family. Because the last thing anyone wants is becoming financially dependent later in life after spending years rescuing everyone else. And what makes this mistake even more dangerous is that many retirees are already struggling with another problem at the same time. A problem that almost nobody sees coming. Rising costs that don't show up in retirement brochures. And once you understand this next mistake, you'll see why so many retirees who looked financially secure at 70 suddenly begin worrying about money later in life. Let's talk about mistake number 5. Ignoring the hidden costs of aging. Most people spend years preparing for retirement. They calculate investment returns, estimate living expenses, plan their monthly budgets. But many completely underestimate the costs that appear later in retirement. And these aren't always the costs people expect. Imagine a retiree named Susan. At 70, she feels great. She's healthy, active, and financially comfortable. She believes the hard part is over. Then over the next few years, things slowly begin to change. A new prescription. More doctor visits. Dental work. Hearing aids. Home modifications. Transportation help. None of these expenses seem massive by themselves. But together they begin adding up. This is what makes retirement spending so dangerous. The biggest threats often arrive slowly, not suddenly. Many retirees prepare for stock market crashes but fail to prepare for healthcare costs that gradually increase year after year. Financial experts continue to identify healthcare and long-term care expenses as major retirement challenges. Some retirees spend decades building financial security only to discover that aging itself creates a new category of expenses they never fully planned for. And here's what makes this even more difficult. These costs often appear at the exact moment retirees have less energy, less flexibility, and fewer options. That's why many financial planners say retirement isn't just about building wealth. It's about protecting it. But as serious as healthcare costs can be, the next mistake surprises almost everyone because it doesn't look like a money problem at all. In fact, many retirees don't even realize it's affecting them. Mistake number 4. Becoming socially isolated. Most retirement videos talk about money. Very few talk about loneliness. Yet retirement changes much more than finances. It changes routines. It changes relationships. It changes daily purpose. During working years, people interact with coworkers, customers, friends, and communities almost every day. Then retirement arrives. Suddenly many of those connections disappear. Research increasingly links social isolation with lower well-being, poorer health outcomes, and reduced quality of life in older adults. Retirement experts are paying more attention to this because isolation can quietly affect both emotional and financial decision-making. Imagine a retiree who spends most days alone. No regular social activities. Fewer conversations. Less community involvement. Over time, confidence can decline. Motivation can decline. Even financial decisions can become more emotional. This is one reason many happy retirees prioritize relationships just as much as retirement savings. They join groups, volunteer, stay connected with family, build routines that create purpose, because retirement isn't simply about having enough money. It's about having enough life. And here's something fascinating. Some retirees have plenty of money but still feel unhappy. Others have less money but feel deeply fulfilled. The difference often isn't found in an investment account. It's found in how they spend their time. And that brings us to mistake number 3. A mistake that creates more retirement regret than almost anything else. Waiting too long to enjoy life. This one hits hard because almost everyone thinks they have more time than they actually do. Many retirees spend decades saying the same thing. We'll travel later. We'll enjoy life later. We'll visit those places later. We'll spend more time with family later. Then one day later arrives, and life looks different. Health changes. Energy changes. Mobility changes. Priorities change. Some retirement regret studies repeatedly find that many retirees wish they had enjoyed certain experiences sooner rather than waiting for the perfect moment. The truth is that retirement doesn't simply give you more time. It gives you a different kind of time. And once those years pass, they don't come back. That's why the smartest retirees don't just ask how much money they have. They ask what they want their remaining years to look like. But what researchers discovered next may be even more surprising. Because many retirees who have enough money to enjoy retirement still refuse to spend it. And the reason why is one of the fastest growing retirement concerns today. Now we're getting to the mistake that may be affecting more retirees than any other. And the surprising part is that it doesn't happen because people don't have enough money. It happens because they're afraid to use the money they already have. Mistake number 2. Living in fear of spending. Financial experts have a name for this now. Fear of running out. Or FORO. And according to some of the newest retirement research, this fear is becoming one of the biggest emotional challenges retirees face today. Think about it. You spend 40 years saving. 40 years being responsible. 40 years hearing the same message. Save more. Spend less. Prepare for the future. Then retirement finally arrives. And suddenly you're expected to do the opposite. You're expected to start spending the money you've spent your entire life protecting. For many retirees, that's incredibly difficult. In fact, Research continues to show that many retirees spend far less than they safely could because they're terrified of running out of money later in life. Some even end retirement with most of their savings still intact. Not because they didn't have opportunities to enjoy life, but because fear kept them from doing so. Imagine a retired couple. They have enough money to travel, enough money to visit family, enough money to enjoy hobbies they've dreamed about for years. Yet every time they consider spending, the same question appears. What if we need that money later? What if healthcare gets expensive? What if the market crashes? What if one of us lives much longer than expected? The fear feels reasonable. But over time it can quietly steal experiences that never come back. This is why many retirement experts now say one of the greatest retirement risks isn't running out of money. It's never allowing yourself to enjoy the money you worked so hard to save. Because retirement isn't just a financial event. It's a life event. And unfortunately, many retirees don't realize this until much later. But as costly as fear of running out can be, it still isn't the biggest mistake retirees make after 70. Because the number one mistake has nothing to do with investing. Nothing to do with healthcare. Nothing to do with taxes. It has to do with something nobody can earn back once it's gone. Time. Mistake number 1. Assuming you have more time than you do. This is the mistake that creates the deepest retirement regrets. Not because people lose money, but because they lose opportunities. Meet Robert. At 70, he felt healthy, active, independent. He kept telling himself the same thing. We'll take that trip next year. We'll visit those places later. We'll spend more time with family once things calm down. We'll enjoy retirement when the timing feels right. Then life happened. Health changed. Energy changed. Mobility changed. Suddenly some of the things he planned to do were no longer as easy as they once seemed. This story repeats itself more often than people realize. Retirement gives you more free time. But it doesn't guarantee more healthy time. That's the difference many people miss. Research on retirement fears and regrets repeatedly shows that people worry about money, but many later discover that health and time become even more valuable. The truth is that nobody knows how many active years they have left. Nobody knows exactly when health will change. Nobody knows when a spouse, friend, or family member may no longer be there. That's why the happiest retirees often stop asking one question. Can I afford it? And start asking another. If not now, when? They understand that retirement isn't simply about protecting money. It's about using money to create a meaningful life. So what's the lesson from today's video? After 70, the biggest retirement mistakes aren't always investment mistakes. They're life mistakes. Assuming your mind will always work the same. Sacrificing your retirement to rescue everyone else. Ignoring healthcare realities. Becoming isolated. Waiting too long to enjoy life. Living in fear of spending. And most importantly, assuming you have more time than you really do. The smartest retirees understand something that takes many people decades to learn. Money matters. But money is only a tool. The real goal is freedom. Experiences. Relationships. Health. Purpose. And peace of mind. So let me ask you a question. Which of these 7 mistakes do you think retirees make most often? Let me know in the comments below. I read every comment and I'd genuinely love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more retirement insights, retirement planning strategies, and financial lessons that can help you make smarter decisions throughout retirement. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself and your family. And I'll see you in the next video.